Verse 28, Ulladhu naarpadhu anubandam, the supplement to 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. அறிவுண்மை நிட்டனாம் ஆன்மவித்து ஆவான், அறிவால் புலர்செற்றான் ஆர்தான் அறிவங்கியாவன், அறிவாம் குலிசத்தான் காலகாலனவன், சாவினை வீரன் எனச் சாற்று. This verse talks about knowledge or consciousness as being the ultimate reality within us. When we say knowledge, we should not take it as relative knowledge of physics, science, etc. When you say knowledge, awareness, consciousness, they are all synonymous. They mean existence, consciousness, bliss. That is our ultimate nature. That is the only thing that exists, they say. And everything else is an appearance in that consciousness. That is the final conclusion of Advaita Vedanta. Ramana Bhagavan's conclusion was that what always exists is that one Atma or Brahman, call it whatever you want to. So in this verse he says, Arivunmai Nittanam Anmavittu Avan. He who is established in consciousness, he is the realized being. And Arival Pulansetran Ardan Arivangi Avan. And with this knowledge that I am only consciousness, I am not the body, I am not the five sheets, I am not the physical world, I am not the universe. One who realizes this is dead in his senses, he says. Arival Pulansetran Ardan Arivangiyavan. And he is that knowledge fire, he says. With that fire, his senses are dead. See, so long as we are identified with the body, we tend to involve ourselves in the worldly life, thinking that I am the body. But once realization dawns, knowledge dawns, consciousness dawns, we realize that we are not the body. We are only that pure knowledge, pure awareness or pure consciousness. And hence, once you are established in that state, there is no question of being pulled by or being heckled by the senses. We will not give importance to the senses. We will not give importance to our bodily, pleasures, mental desires. That will stop completely. That is why it is said, in Shastras they use the word Dhira. Dhira means a brave man. A brave man is not one who kills 1,000 soldiers in the battlefield. A brave man is one who kills his own ego, his own senses. This is the toughest fight one can ever think of in the whole of human existence. Conquering one's own self. Lao Tzu said, he who conquers others is strong, he who conquers himself is mighty. Of course, this is the toughest fight, and this is the secret to realization too. If Sarvapriyananda, who belongs to this Ramakrishna order, he says, if one can measure up to this word Dhira, brave man, enlightenment is guaranteed. Because for him, there is no hurdle. The hurdle is his own ego, his own desires. And then he says, Arivam Kulisattan Kala Kalanavan. This person who is himself the knowledge sword, Kulisattan is a knowledge sword, one of the kind of swords that is described in the ancient lore, which means he is so sharp, he is so clear about the truth that his knowledge is like that sword which cuts off the entire physical order. Arivam Kulisattan Kala Kalanavan. For him, there is no time, space, there is no binding to space-time at all. Arivam Kulisattan Kala Kalanavan Savinai Veeran enach saatru. That person who has, with the sword of knowledge, killed his senses, he is the one who has won over death. See, winning over death, we should not take it as the body will continue for 1,000 years. No, not in that sense. I am not this body at all. I am not the five sheets at all. I am not the body, I am not the breath, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the bliss sheath that we are in our deep sleep. No, none of it. What else is it? I am something away from it, apart from the body, apart from the world, apart from the universe, yet I am that Atma, apart from which there is nothing. which means which percolates everything, which makes everything function the way it does. It is so powerful. Ulladhunil aladila adisaya shakti, he says, in you there is this unimaginable power, limitless power. That is what you are, that is what we are. Sometimes it is very frustrating, this is the biggest fight, I think. Somehow we have got into it. Now I realize, unless you do Shravanam Mananam, you hear the truth, you think about it again and again, unless you keep yourself steady in that knowledge, unless you kill your ego through constant vicharam, we will not get enlightened. What will be the result? If you don't get enlightened, we will be born again. As simple as that. No major harm. If you would like to be born again, it is all yours. This is for those mature souls who, having taken n number of births, as Bhagavan says, they feel, oh, enough of it. And then the intellectual curiosity, because he says, Nananam Surpurulamadu Nalume. That is the meaning of the word I that you utter. What is the meaning? Not this body, that. Where? Here, right now, everywhere. There is not a place it is not. There is not a thing it is not. It is inside everything, makes everything function the way it does, and yet remains untouched. Who am I talking about? You, your inner reality, Andaryami, the inner reality, the inner man, so to say, and my inner man. This is the ultimate truth. This is what the Rishis have been proclaiming for the last 5,000 years. Tattvamasi, that thou art. But it does take homework. From my experience, last 4 years of practice, yes, the ego pops up and the ego drags you into thinking about worldly life. It makes you desire worldly things. It makes you run after, and it steals your thought process for quite some time, for 2 hours. Sometimes I lose myself in the thought process for 2 hours, and then I come back. Hey, what am I doing? Who am I? Who is it that is thinking this thought? I. Who is that I? Which is the birthplace? So again I come back to self-inquiry. It is really tough, but it is not impossible, because people have realized. And it is said, you are already that. Then what's my problem? Why am I now behaving as if I were only the individual? It is the effect of Maya, the power of Maya. What is not real, like the snake in the rope, we all mistake the body and the world to be real. And Shankara says in Anma Bodham, till you inquire and realize your true nature, everything will look real, physical, solid. The way on the beach when you walk, you see some seashells, it shines bright like a silver from the distance. You think, oh, there is a piece of silver someone has left. No, if you go closer, you'll see it's only seashell. The same way, till we inquire and realize our true nature, till we are established in it. Bhagavan says there is a fixed state. Once you get there, you'll get fixed. And once fixed forever. Till that state is reached, Bhagavan himself calls it a state, and he says that is the only state there is. That's all. Nothing else is there. So long as we are identified with the body, the world, everything will be real. But if we do inquiry and we realize our true nature, what is left? He says, Aham Settu, Aham Aduvagil, Arivuruvam, Avagamade Michambari. When the ego dies, and in that place, if this dead ego becomes that, which means it cannot become that, when this is dead, that pops up. Atma comes into our experience automatically without our effort, because it is always shining like the bright sun. So, Agam Setta, Agam Madhuvagil, Arivuruvam, Vahamade Micham Mari. Here it's a little intriguing. He says, what is the final remnant? He says, knowledge. Oh, what knowledge? Knowledge of physics, chemistry? No. Knowledge. It remains by itself. So, change the word, consciousness. Yeah. And then in another place he says, Unarvu, Ulladhunara Unarvu, which means a sort of feeling, a sensation, but it is not bodily sensation. It is just the feeling that I am. That's all. I exist. Not as Sentivel, not as any other person. I just alone am. The Atma knows itself, remains itself, unshaking, unmoving, unwavering, unchanging. It is always the same. It is like the cinema screen, he says, on which Atma watches the movie of the universe, including your body and my body. This is called Upadhi, the add-on. Through the add-on it works. Through the add-on, Brahman cheats itself. Which means you have cheated yourself, I have cheated myself. This is the truth. So, Arivunmai Nittanam Anmavittu Avan. He is the one who is realized, who is established in pure knowledge. And with the help of that enlightenment, he becomes senses dead. He is no longer a victim of the senses. And with the sword of knowledge, he becomes timeless. Arival Pulansattran Ardan Arivangiyavan Arivam Kulisattan Kalagalanavavan Savinai Mai Virananachatru. And that realized person is the one who has won over death forever, because he is liberated. He is a Mukta, Jivan Mukta. After some time, when the Prarabdha is exhausted, he becomes the Videha Mukta, one who is without the body after having shed the body. Let us think about it.